Hello everybody, Rufi here with another play and explain video for you guys. This time we'll do something a little bit different, and we're gonna play regular tables instead of Zoom tables. Mainly because I thought it might be good to mix it up a little bit, and also I know a lot of you are playing regular tables, and this is also what I usually recommend to my students. So I was just loading up one table of 5NL, one table of 10, and two tables of 25NL. Just so there's something for everybody in there, maybe show some of the differences, and yeah, and see maybe also the similarities of the different stakes, that they're not that different, and hopefully there's something for everyone. So let's get right into it. Here we have a hand with the ace jack on the bottom left, where I open, get called by small bet and big bet. I see bet small on the flop, I overbet the turn. And now the question is this hand strong enough to go for 3 streets on the river? He called fairly quickly on the turn. We are multi-way, but I think he's gonna fast play his 2 pairs a lot here on the turn. So I actually think my hand is still strong enough to go for one more street of value. Normally this would be a check back, but I think here we can go thin. I don't think he's gonna fold an ace here, and I don't think he is better given his timing tells. Also, I wanted to show this hand that I just played just before I started the recording, because it's I think an important point where a lot of people might miss some value, or play a bit too standard. So this is a blindy blind spot where a short stack, presumably recreational, limped, and here it's really important to not just ISO to a standard sizing of 3.5x or always go to the same sizing. Here I really want you, it's you against the recreational, you don't need to be worried about any regulars behind. You want to maximally exploit your opponent. So if I have a hand like jacks, I went to 8.5 big blinds. Fish are really inelastic here in terms of what they're calling, so not adjusting your ISO size depending on your hand strength would be quite a big mistake. Tens here I would be squeezing. Really profitable spot to squeeze a lot in general. And we get all the folds. He called the ISO to 8.5, which is obviously great. We get a flop like this for 9-8-4. Again here, don't just have one c-bet sizing, have different sizings when you play against recreational, and make them dependent on your hand. And of course the hands like tens and jacks is the beautiful hand, the perfect hand to go large. So I just went under pot. We got a raise. We obviously always shipping it, right? We're never afraid of any monsters under the bed here. If he has it, he has it. And we run into the 7-5 that did end up calling off. So really important to not to not read too much, or to fully go for the best play with your particular hand there. Here we're squeezing the ace-10, and we got it in against a short stick with king-queen. Great result as well. We're basically flipping with a lot of dead money. Jack-10, we get min check raised. I think we're still about just calling one. The king CM3 getting a bit larger because we're deeper. And then the Jack-10 kind of tempting to call again here, to bluff later. I mean, we have all the strong hands here. He doesn't really, but I think this is where we need to fold now if he pots it. I think on a lot of runouts, so we can bluff him because we have all the ace kings and better, but now just unlikely he's bluffing it, likely he has a king. Gonna start with a c-bet here with the kings and open the 8-7. The 7 and the flush completing, given we're deeper, is not great. Definitely hits him quite a bit more than it does us. Now kings is the type of hand that probably still wants to bet, but if he raises, I think we can get out of the way. It's a bit annoying to fold the king high, well, to have to fold the king high flush draw, but I think kings and aces with a heart still benefit a lot from betting and getting value from queen x, but sizing down given how dynamic the turn was. So yeah, if I would playing these stakes normally, I definitely takes notes here. So if I see this guy, you know, I definitely mark him as a recreational, mark down that you know, he's opening 6x, see if this happens more often or not, just so I have info for future games, right? So definitely recommend you guys to also do that when you're playing the stakes. Get an idea, you know, see a guy like this on 71.4, I would have a label for this as a weak passive fish. I think we can ISO this still. He not good enough to call 4-bet. Checking this one back. Marking this guy 3x's and so on and so forth. I think those notes are really important. We know this guy's limping a lot. He's probably gonna call a lot. But again, we're heads up now with a fairly strong hand, so wanna size up. Here we find a lead. Could call here still, given we have kind of the worst two pair and the board can change a lot. If we raise and like on this turn the runout changes, he don't mind checking or going for a small bet. The 8s does check and checking back the 10-8 here, and we face a pot bet on the river. I think we can fold this one, to be honest, given the timing there, right? We just have a bluff catcher. He let out multi-way. It's really hard to be bluffing there, so I mean, it's just a fold. Obviously opening the Jack-9 first. We can go either way here. The 4 is really good for him. I don't mind starting with a check. I don't mind starting with a small bet here. Just important that you do play with a checking range here. He does check behind. Now on the ace, we want to play block bets or check here. He definitely gonna have a lot of ace-x in his range too, but I think a strong 9, we can still go for a block bet. Also don't hate the check again. Both options are fine. Definitely have to call one. It's not great. Him snap checking is gonna have a lot of ace highs in his range, but also a lot of air. So we definitely have to call this one. We kind of have to call some king highs on the turn too, and like king, queen, king, jack. Then we see another half pot bet. Interesting one, queen 3. I think multi-way we just rather want to fold, and then we see a lead here. I think I'm just gonna raise it up, although calling was fine too. They're close, but I think calling is probably the best in this line. Yeah, that's just a really wide range, isn't he? Only bets half, but if he sizes up, I think we can fold. Here we see a donk. We raise and then another donk on the turn. I think at this point now we'd rather go into bluff catching mode than raising again. I think that would be a bit thin here. Now a 4 makes a straight. I can maybe stay on this table. But I think this line is just a lot of shit, so I'm not really planning on folding unless he bombs it now on the river. It is quite a large sizing. C-bet here, and I think the ace is just folding on this runout. I can maybe stay on this table. Starting with a small bet here with the pocket deuces. The deuces now facing a turn lead on the 7. I guess we call 1. I'm not really sure what he's saying he has here. Maybe like a 9-8 here, 7-8 here, going for small thin value, and then leads again on the 10. Yeah, not really sure what he's saying he has here, but calling seems a bit ambitious on this river. And then we have the queens here, it's squeezed from the big blind. The question is, do we want to call, invite this guy in, or do I want to jam over the top myself? I think calling and letting this guy in is fine. Maybe he ISO jams some pocket pairs here. And now the question is, do I rather want to bet or do I want to jack jam myself? I think I prefer the second option. Check, let him stab something, let him stab his pocket pairs. He checks behind rather quickly. Now betting is sizing to get the money in over 2 streets. Could probably even size up a bit given how dynamic this texture is. We just get a fold, and here's queens as well, so we chop this one up. Unfortunately, once he checks back the flop, I don't think we get too much value, so loads of action there so far.